of the 2023 Philippine Creative Industries Month. Please rise for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, followed by an invocation.
Sa dagat at bundok, sa sinulat, sa langit o babaw, kagilan ng tula at hawit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isat ng watawat ko'y tagumpay na naglilingin. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may dinagdilingin. Lupa ng araw ng parati pagsikat, ay langit sa piling mo. Ang ligaya na patay ng abig, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Dakilang manlilikha, narito po ako, bunga ng pag-ibig sa palad ng mundo. Puso'y umaawit, awiting alay ko. Salamat sa inyo. Salamat sa araw, sa buwan at bituin, sa hayop at halaman, sa ulan at hangin. Salamat sa kaibigan at sa kapwa-tao ko. Salamat sa inyo. Bawat sandali ng buhay ay ligaya. Bawat hininga ay tunay na biyaya. Bawat pagsisikap ay may gantimpala. Dakilang manlilikha, narito po ako, bunga ng pag-ibig sa palad ng mundo. Puso'y umaawit, awiting alay ko. Salamat sa inyo. Amen. Amen. Amen.
You may now take your seats.
The future is always creative. As the country navigates towards being a leading creative hub, the Philippine Creative Industries level up and continue to empower all its creative ecosystems through enhancing its brand. Through innovation and authenticity, we shall traverse the changing economic landscapes with originality and creative solutions as we solidify our identity as Filipinos. Through collaboration and convergence, we shall work together with our pool of diverse talents and merge creative disciplines and industries and produce impactful outcomes marked with Filipino excellence. Through sustainability and transcendence, we shall curate the best practices from the different creative spheres and go beyond conventional boundaries to serve the community and create experiences that are truly global and Filipino. Aesthetic, transformative, inclusive, disruptive, value-driven, human-centric, immersive, dynamic, progressive, and definitely world-class. The creativity of the Filipinos defines the very soul of this nation. As we celebrate and advance the creativity of the Malikhaing Pinoy, join us in celebrating the 2023 Philippine Creative Industries Month.
Sayaw Pinoy Collab is a festive showcase of the diverse genre of dance in the country. Conceptualized and directed by Ms. Shirley Halili Cruz, the dance brings together award-winning dance groups, performing various dance forms, reflecting unity in diversity. This is Sayaw Pinoy Collab with Sindao Philippines, Halili Cruz Dance Company, National Ballroom Ensemble, and J Crisis.
ipamahagi ng tunay. Sarap ng buhay, puno ng kulay, mga ngiti ng pag-asa, ito'y aking nadama. Sa buong pag-ising, sa umaga, pasasalamat sa pagdaloy ng biyayang kay ganda. Ako'y namamangha sa kantimpala, sa mga daan na hinahahak, dala-dala nito'y tagumpay at ligaya. Sa lawak na mundong kinagisnan, sa bawat paglakbay may natuklasan, dala-dala nito'y kalayaan kay sigla. Sarap ng buhay, puno ng kulay, mga ngiti ng pag-asa, ito'y aking nadarama. Ipag-iwang ang buhay, ipamahagi ng tunay, sumayaw, umindak sa tuwa at galak. Ipag-iwang ang buhay, ipamahagi ng tunay, tumayo, gumalaw, sumigaw, sumayaw. Sarap ng buhay, puno ng kulay, mga ngiti ng pag-asa, ito'y aking nadarama. Sa tuwing pag-ising, sa umaga, pasasalamat sa pagdaloy ng biyaya kay ganda. Pasasalamat sa pagdaloy ng biyaya kay ganda. Aani, aani, ani, aani, 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 ani, aani, 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 ani, aani, aani, ani ng sining ng taong bayan, ani ng sining, ani ng galing, diwa at damdamin ng taong bayan, ani ng anyo ng ating pagkatao, ani ng sining ng taong bayan, ani, aani, ani, aani, aani, ani ng sining ng taong bayan, ani ng liwanag ng kamalayan,
A celebrity, a model, and a beauty queen, our Binibining Pilipinas Grand International 2016 title holder, Miss Nicole Cordoves.
Wow, what a spectacular way to kick off the celebrations today. Good afternoon, everyone, and a happy Sunday to all of you. I know it's so tempting to stay in bed because the weather is so nice, but with your dedication to the culture and the arts, you have found yourselves here on a Sunday, rainy Sunday afternoon. So I think that in itself deserves a big round of applause. Thank you so much for dedicating your time to us here today. And of course, that was the collab of the Sayaw Pinoy at its finest, directed and conceptualized by none other than Miss Shirley Halili Cruz. Let's give her a big round of applause. That was so amazing and inspirational to watch. I wish I could move like that, actually. And now, since the passage of the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, or the PCIDA, the national government has worked relentlessly in promoting and supporting the creative sectors. And this media launch of the inaugural PCIM celebration marks the official commencement of the 2023 Philippine Creative Industries Month. And this event serves as a crucial platform where the public and private sectors, consisting of creative industry leaders, creative firms, artists, artisans, creators, content providers, creative workers, and indigenous cultural communities converge to exchange insights, share aspirations, and showcase creativity, shaping the ambience for a month-long celebration that we will all do as one nation. And to provide more context as to why we are all gathered here today, let's all watch this.
The creativity of the Filipino is truly world-class. Sila na nagbibigay ng kaluluwa at pagkakilala sa ating pagka-Pilipino. Protektahan natin sila.
In pursuit of protecting, empowering, and progressing the Philippine creative industries, the national government has institutionalized its support for the vast pool of Filipino creatives through the legislation of Republic Act No. 11904, known as the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, which lapsed into law on July 28, 2022.
It provides an institutional legal definition as to what the creative industries are, to be able to prioritize what are the programs that would be necessary to be able to scale and grow each of these industries.
This is really a partnership between public and private entities.
We are building a creative learning academy that will provide trainings, business development, innovation, and entrepreneurship courses, competencies and skills necessary, especially with the entry of new technologies and immersive technologies.
Recognizing the great potential and opportunities in creative industries, the law likewise recognizes its valuable contributions to the country's economic landscape and to the global creative space.
These industries intertwine artistry with commerce, producing a wide array of creative goods, services, and experiences that contribute to cultural enrichment and economic growth.
Finally, there's a law and an organization that creates this that will now provide direction, focus, and synergy among all the different industry players and sectors, and really focus on the Filipino talent.
Through the creation of the Philippine Creative Industries Development Council, or PCIDC, the nation capitalizes on the Philippines' abundance of creative and talented human resource.
The creative industries of our country are more than just the products that we produce, but more importantly, defined by the people that make them.
The PCIDC spearheads the development and promotion of the creative industries of the country.
the Creative Industries Council could really concentrate on the production aspect of the arts. And with that, they would need to really work with the supply aspect.
Given the cultural, social, and economic value of this sector, the further development of our creative industries actually falls within the development agenda currently being pursued by the Network for Social Development Committee.
We can create enabling environments and provide them with more resources and opportunities to nurture and develop talents.
Comprised of 10 government agencies and 9 private sector representatives for each domain identified, the PCIDC carries out concrete programs that shall enrich and empower every creative domain and all its stakeholders.
With the passage of the PCIDA law, we will be working together with the other government agencies, and that would give us more impetus to make our Filipinos more aware of what intellectual property is.
Through the convergence and collaboration of the stakeholders and players of the Philippine creative industries, the continuous and successful implementation of the long-term and progressive plans for the development and promotion of the country's creative ecosystems shall lead the nation towards becoming a leading creative hub in both regional and global spheres.
These creative industries also stimulate job creation, entrepreneurship, and socio-economic development.
I can see a potential fusion of innovation and creativity that can further improve the Philippines' global competitiveness and presence.
Celebrating the creative excellence of the Malikhaing Pinoy, the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act shall continue in solidifying the foundation, strengthening the pillars of the country's creative industries, which shall advance the overall sustainable, inclusive, and progressive development of our nation, believing that the future is always creative.
Make certain that we revive once again what is fundamentally Filipino, our native creativity.
I fully support and recognize the creative industry, not only as an active contributor to economic growth, but also as a driving force that gives soul to the Filipino identity.
Wow, such exciting times for the Philippine creative industry. And we are lucky today to have with us the principal author of the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, or Republic Act number 11904, and the chairperson of the House Special Committee on Creative Industries, Honorable Congressman Christopher Toff de Venecia.
Thanks, Nicole. Hello, everyone. Isang masantosya agod sa kayo namin. I want to greet our partners and allies in championing the creative industries. Of course, we have here Yusek Fita Aldaba, our amazing champion in the DTI, who has been my partner since day one, since we advocated for this measure. Of course, with her is the whole DTI family. I need to give credit to AD Joe Dandaro for all the hard work that you've put in for the PCIM. Buhay ka pa ba? Yes, buhay ka pa. Of course, Director Lilian Salonga, Yusek Fitas, Gio Gomez, also the entire team of Yusek Fita has been so amazing in making this whole thing happen. I also want to greet the NCCA family, and we have here Deputy Executive Director Marichu Teliana, who's been my partner since even before I took up the creative industry as an advocacy. We have been working together in fostering arts and culture and cultural heritage and preservation, especially empowering the NCCA and all those groups of families and agencies to be able to do just that. And I also want to greet the IPOFIL family, another partner of ours, Director General Roel Barba, Deputy Director General Anne-Claire Cabochan, and Director Emerson Cuyo. IPOFIL is really our partner in developing the creative sector, because you cannot have a vibrant creative economy if you do not have a strong intellectual property regime. And they are the ones who make that possible. And in fact, they attend all my hearings, 6 to 8 hours each hearing, and they are always last to present. So they really endure all those hours of dialogue to be able to help encourage our creators to really exercise their intellectual property and avail of that protection. I also see DOST here, so we have PTRI Director Julius Liano Jr. Thank you so much for being our partner. In fact, this is the entire DOST family, really, not just PTRI, but all the other attached agencies. We also have DICT Director Emilu Versosa Delfin is with us here. Yusek Josel, of course, who is in Negros, I believe, doing their own creative industry events. And just the other day, I was with Sec Ivan Uy, and we got renewed commitment of the DICT for the creative agenda. Of course, we also have here the National Council for Children's Television, ED Daisy Atienza, an attached agency of the DepEd, and the entire family for being here. We also have Design Center of the Philippines Executive Director and my friend, Ria Matute. She and really our North Star for this whole endeavor, Paulo Mercado of the Creative Economy Council of the Philippines, and many others like her have been advocating for the creative economy for decades. Tama ba? Okay, decade. Not decades. Decade. More than a decade. But I suppose it's just with our scrappiness and determination and aggressiveness that we were able to finally help realize this creative future. We also have Director Nelly Detera from the PTTC. I believe she is here. Ma'am, hello. I saw Tita Shirley Halili Cruz, amazing performance earlier. All our friends from the media who are with us here. Of course, my friend, Director Paulo Tugbang of the Department of Tourism. We have a very exciting partnership with the DOT, which will happen in December of this year. Again, I thank Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco, because our first meeting last year on the creative agenda, she was on board. Day one pa lang. And finally, our constant conversation and dialogue will lead to this amazing event that will happen in December that maybe Director Paulo and the DOT family can talk about later on in the open panel, the open forum. And I am pleased to inform the body also that in our conversation with the DILG, they are also very much interested in organizing a creative governance summit for next year. So that, yay, let's applaud that, because we need to really empower our mayors and governors and local chief executives to champion the creative industries, because national government cannot do it on its own. Yun pa lang, 10 minutes na. So, ito na yung ating opening remarks, okay? So, of course, it is with great joy that we kick off the Philippine Creative Industries Month, which is a salient feature of the Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, or RA 11904, just so that we can really emphasize the role of creative industries not only in our economic growth, but also in nation building. The Creative Industry Month is also an avenue or a platform for us to be able to promote and market the goods, the services, the amazing output of our creative sector. So again, I applaud the team of USEC FITA because as you can see in the PCIM poster with the QR codes, we encourage creative organizations and creators to onboard their respective events to the national celebration of the PCIM. We want to be able to provide that platform to promote and market their output. I think it's also fitting that we recognize and appreciate the enormous contribution of our creative sector, of course, into all of these goals that we have defined for the creative economy. The said industries encompass a vast spectrum of fields, as you saw in the video. There are 9 domains that are identified in the law, from audiovisual media, digital interactive media, creative services, design, publishing and print media, performing arts, visual arts, traditional cultural expressions, and cultural sites. These 9 domains basically aggregate as many as 70 plus creative industries. So marami po talaga, and marami ang hindi nakakaalam kung ano mga industries ang creative based dun sa ating definition. So ang inyong participation sa event na ito ay magiging instrumental sa pagkakaintindi ng sambayan ng Pilipino sa sektor na kung tawagin ay creative industries. Ngayon, sa ating pakikipagtalastasan sa ating mga kasamahan sa gobyerno, pati na rin sa media kung tayo'y naimbitahan sa mga TV interview, parati nilang tinatanong, Kong Tof, ano ba tong creative industries na kung tawagin? Well, finally, ngayon may batas na pwede nating maging batayan kung ano ba ang creative industries. Pero more than the law, actually, nag-commission po tayo ng study with the Philippine Statistics Authority. At atin pong napagtanto na in fact, ang Philippine Creative Industries ay nagbibigay trabaho sa mahigit 7 million Filipinos. Napakalaking numero po niyan. At ito po ay nakapag-generate ng 1.6 trillion pesos para sa ating ekonomiya. How big is that? That is 7.34% of our gross domestic product. We are less than 2% behind agriculture. We are a few percentage behind sectors like tourism. And that is without a law. That is without a law back then. That is without a framework on how to properly develop the sector. Ibig sabihin yung ating mga creative industries, yung creators, sariling sikap sila all these years. And yet, kahit na halos wala silang tulong na nakuha sa gobyerno sa mga nakaraang dekada, ayan ang kanilang kontribusyon. What more kung bigyan natin sila ng pansin at tulong? At yan po ang point ng ating creative industry law. Ang Pilipinas po ay home to millions of skilled, creative, and talented individuals. And of course, we have to laud the President, si President Bongbong Marcos, for his tremendous support to the promotion and development of the creative industries and for acknowledging world-class Filipino creativity. In fact, sa unang SONA po niya last year, nakaupo po ako sa kasama ng mga congressman na tiga Region 1, nasa likod po ako ng aking kaibigan na si Congressman Sandro Marcos. Nakikinig po ako kay President Bongbong Marcos na wala naman po akong talagang expectation na mababanggit ang creative industries. Hindi ko naman po alam kung ano magiging roadmap ng kanyang administrasyon, and yet, nung binigyan niya ng isang buong paragraph ang creative industries sa kanyang SONA, ay talagang pumalakpak po ang aking tenga. I was very, very surprised and very, very happy to hear that from day one of his administration, ay suportado niya na po ang ating creative sector. And in fact, nagka-round 2 ang mention ni President BBM sa creative industries sa kanyang SONA this year. And we look forward to the memorandum of understanding that the Philippine government has entered into with Indonesia for developing creative industry and cooperation in that sense. Of course, we have to, or I think we have realized by now that the creative industries do more than just entertain us. They inspire innovation, they challenge the status quo, they disrupt in a good way, and they help shape our future. They are the heartbeat of our society's imagination, and their impact is immeasurable. But at least for the purpose of the creative industry law, we have very, very clear performance indicators or impact or performance outcomes that we need to measure para malaman natin kung may saysay ba itong ginagawa natin, lahat ng pondo na ginagastos natin para sa development ng creative industries ay may pinatutunguhan. So ano-ano ba itong mga performance outcomes or indicators na ito? Una, dapat mas maraming trabaho. Kung 7 million Filipinos ngayon sa creative industries, dapat eventually magang 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 at mas marami pa. Pangalawa, we need to generate more revenue. Dapat mas maraming kita sa creative industries. 3, dapat mas lumaki pa ang kontribusyon ng creative industries sa ating gross domestic product. Gaya siguro ng sa South Korea, ang kanilang creative content or creative industries, kung ano man ang tawag nila doon, napakalaki ng kanilang kontribusyon sa ekonomiya. Pang-apat, dapat mas lumaki pa ang ating export sa larangan ng goods and ng services. Thankfully, number 1 tayo sa export ng creative services natin sa buong ASEAN. Number 5 lamang tayo sa export ng creative goods dahil maraming problema sa logistics na kailangan nating lutasin. Of course, kailangan natin ng mas maraming investment pa sa sektor ng creative industries. At nang atin pong nakita ang BOI-approved investments for this year, akalain ninyo, meron po tayong isang malaking investment sa creative industry sector. So talagang nakakatuwa because interesado po ang mga investor na pumasok sa bansa, hindi lamang sa ibang larangan kung hindi, pati na rin sa creative industries. Of course, gusto rin nating mas ma-develop pa ang market ng bawat creative industry. Ako po ay isang theater producer at director din. Pag hindi po ako congressman, siguro that's my day job and my night job. Okay? Napakahirap po magbenta ng ticket sa mga theater play. Ang pelikula ngayon, ang mga original Filipino films, pag lumalabas sa sinihan, ay ang hirap po talagang mapuno dahil na rin siguro sa digital at sa streaming. And of course, ang dami ng kakompetensya. Ang dami pong creative industry sectors ang nahihirapan na magkaroon ng audience or market ang kanilang mga produkto. So, ang goal rin po ng batas na ito ay i-grow at i-develop ang mga market. Para nang sa gayon ay eventually magkaroon tayo ng kinabukasan kung saan, kung may bagong pelikulang Pilipino, kung may bagong musikang Pilipino, kung may bagong play, kung may trade show or trade fair, ay talagang grab ang haba na ng pila kasi excited na yung 110 million Filipinos na tangkilikin ang malikhaing produkto ng malikhaing Pinoy. At hindi lang yon, ang future rin na ating nakikita is that yung mga banyaga mula sa ibang bansa ay naka-standby na sa Netflix kung every time na may lalabas na mga bagong Filipino film or teleserye. Gaya ng parating number 1 ang Korean content sa Netflix, sa Amazon, sa lahat ng streaming platform, kasi lahat ng mga Pilipino nakaantabay. Pangarap rin natin na sana ang buong mundo ay nakaantabay rin sa kung ano ang magmumula sa pagiging malikhain ng Pilipino. And of course, dahil kasama natin ang Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, nais natin na magkaroon ng mas marami pang malikhaing IP or intellectual property na kung tawagin. In fact, ang parati ko pong sinasabi sa mga forum pag tinatanong ako, ano ba ang future ng creative industries? Parati nilang sinasabi, digital, 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 digital. Yes, it's true, there is opportunity in digital. But for me, I always say, the future of creative industry is creative intellectual property ecology. What does that mean? Hanggang sa umabot tayo sa punto na lahat ng 70+ creative industries ay nagtutulungan para mas mai-uplift ang productivity ng bawat isa, hindi pa natin nare-reach yung full potential ng creative industries. Nung Friday, actually, dapat yun yung launch natin, kaso binagyo at hindi natuloy. Pero natuloy yung private sector event na pinuntahan ko, yung Women in Business Summit, kung saan kasama ko doon si Yusek Bless, si former Secretary Mon Lopez, at yung iba pa nating mga kasamahan sa creative industries. At na-meet ko yung President and CEO ng Enchanted Kingdom. Sabi ko, ma'am, parati ko kayong binabanggit sa mga speech ko pag tinatalakay ko yung konsepto ng creative intellectual property ecology. Because hanggang dumating yung panahon na meron tayong sariling portion sa Enchanted Kingdom or Star City Man na nakabida ay 13 or nakabida ay si Darna, si Jaja Zaturda, si Captain Barbell, hindi pa po natin nare-realize ang ating creative future. Napakalaki po ng potential kung magtulutulungan ang bawat isa sa ating mga creative industries. Like I said, the power of creativity knows no boundaries and it transcends. Siguro katuwang po ng creative industries is may mga bago po tayong batas na naipasa na talagang makakatulong sa creative industry law. Una ay ang ating cultural mapping law. Nakakapirma lang po ni Presidente last week. At ito po ay magiging napakahalagang tool or instrumento para ang ating mga LGUs ay mabigyan ng framework pati na rin ng resources at tulong pinansyal ng NCCA para makapag-conduct ng cultural mapping sa kani-kanilang mga LGU. Nakapaglagay po ata tayo ng 200 million para sa, or 500 million ba yun? 200 million sa initial implementation para we can assist as many municipalities and cities. Because kung ano po ang makakapture ng cultural map, pwede po yung gamitin ng ating creative industry stakeholders. Kung yung data at yung history at yung cultural heritage at natural heritage of cultural significance na makakapture ng cultural map, pwede yung maging batayan dun sa mga creative output na gagawin ninyo. Whether kayo ay chef at gagawa kayo ng recipe inspired by the heritage of the locality, or kayo ay isang visual artist at gagawa kayo ng magandang mural para imbis na yung contemporary lang ay nag-uugat sa kultura at heritage ang ginagawa niyong creative output. In fact, people always say, there seems to be a tension between culture and heritage and creativity because one is past-centric and preserving it and trying to pass it on to the present and future generation. And one is future-centric creativity because it has something to do with innovation. But actually, culture and creativity can work together because culture is our ultimate comparative advantage. What does that mean? Yung kultura ng Pilipino, ito ang nagiging, kumbaga, espesyal na ingredient ng ating mga creatives para mas mag-thrive pa sa global stage. Tignan nyo na lang ang Vogue Philippines. Ano ang cover ng Vogue Philippines? So nag-viral yung cover na merong si Wang Od. Diba? Ang kanilang anniversary issue na linaunch just last week, and I was so happy to be there with all of my friends in the creative industries. They celebrate indigenous weaves. They celebrate Filipino craftsmanship, artisanship, which really goes back to this concept of to go global, we must be hyper-local. This is a change of paradigm from past creative endeavors in which we want to try to be foreign. Gusto natin maging parang banyaga. Kung anong ginagawa ng ibang bansa, yun din ang gagawin natin para magkaroon tayo ng fighting chance sa global stage. But in fact, because of digital, now we can actually look within. Now we can look at what is inherently Filipino because yan ang hinahanap ng mundo. And that is also why we have Filipinos like Dali De Leon, John Lloyd Cruz. We have Filipinos like Lav Diaz, di ba? Kasama the first Michelin star restaurant in the United States na Filipino. That's the reason why Filipinos are starting to find their voice and their space and their place in the global stage. Because these are Filipinos who are embracing their culture and their identity. And that's why culture and creativity need to work together para talagang ma-realize natin ang ating creative future. Of course, the OTOP law, the One Town, One Product law, was also recently enacted, another pet measure of ours. And incidentally, it was a program that was started by my sister, Yusek Carissa Cruz Evangelista, when she was in DTI, inspired by the Thai model. And I'm happy that there is now an institutional framework on how to develop this measure. So, okay, we go back to Creative Industry Month. And before I end, I just want to give you a few updates. And maybe we can talk about this more in the open forum later. One, pag may batas, kailangan may pondo. Kung walang pondo yung batas, hindi siya may implement. So ang ginawa po natin sa pakipagtulungan sa Senado at ang mababang kapulungan, nakapaglaan po tayo ng 410 million pesos para sa implementation ng Creative Industry Law sa taong 2023. Ito rin po ang source ng pondo ng Malikhaing Pinoy program ng DTI na siguro pwede nilang i-discuss mamaya. Ngayon, budget season po sa Kongreso, tinatalakay po namin ang 2024 budget. Last year, nung dumating yung budget sa amin, dahil hindi naman po iyon budget na prepare ng Marcos administration, it was zero budget. And then, naglagay po kami sa Kongreso, naglagay ang Senado, ang ending, it was 410 million. In fairness ngayon, nung dumating yung budget, it's at 50 million. Okay? It's much, much better than zero. But ang commitment po namin sa Kongreso is that dadagdagan po namin yung 50 million para at least mapantayan yung 410 million if hindi mas mahigatan pa ang budget para may develop ang creative industries sa bansa. Okay. And maliban sa budget, yun na nga, may partnership tayo with DOT sa December. Magkakaroon tayo ng forthcoming partnership with the DILG next year. And then of course, marami tayong mga partnership with other government agencies na talagang involved sa implementation ng batas. Of course, with the IPOFIL and the DICT, diba? And sino pa bang na doon? Department of Education, lahat ng ex-official members, meron po tayong magiging partnership to develop the creative sector. Anyway, yun lang naman po. I look forward to the celebration of Philippine Creative Industry Month. Again, congratulations. Rain or shine, andyan tayo para talagang itaguyod ang creative industry sa ating bansa. And kahit nga, nung nakuha ko yung text nung Thursday, 10 p.m, Kong Tof, mukhang hindi tayo matutuloy bukas, September 1, kasi may memo from Malacanang na cancel lahat ng government event. Alam niyo, hindi ako na-demoralize, hindi ako nalungkot. Kasi ganyan yun naman yung naging journey natin sa creative industry advocacy. Imagine, sina Edie Ria, dekada. Talagang more than a decade, lobbying, championing, fighting, shouting out na minsan may nakikinig, minsan wala. Diba? And then even yung nung pandemic, when we took up this creative industry advocacy, di ba? Parang sirang plaka, creative industry, na minsan naintindihan ako ng tao, minsan hindi. Minsan naboboard na sila sa sinasabi ko, minsan naman talagang nakatutok. At talagang race against time. In fact, yung batas, napunta sa desk ni President Duterte 2 days bago siya mag-step down from office. Talagang fight to the photo finish. photo finish kung tawagin. So meaning to say, there's always been a struggle, there's always been a challenge, but what is important is that we are all here together fighting, championing, and raising the level of Filipino creativity here and around the world. And that starts with the celebration of the Creative Industry Month. So, congratulations everybody, lahat na nakikinig sa media ngayon. Sana po tulungan nyo kaming ipakalat pa ang advocacy namin sa creative industry. And let's always remember that hashtag the future is creative. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kong Tof. Grabe, launching pa lang natin today, pero meron ng long-term direction and planning that we can all look forward to. And as a consumer myself, parang untapped talaga for the longest time ang creative economy. And seeing everyone today in this room, I can see that it is in good hands. Parang na-take advantage natin. We always say na napakamalikhain ng mga Pinoy. Pero kailan ba natin sila, when did we take their hands from the laylayan, di ba? The marginalized ones, like sabi nga ni Kong Tof, they were left invisible for the longest time. Pero now, we are making the invisible very visible to the global stage. And I can't wait for the exciting times ahead for all of you. So maraming salamat po. Okay, up next, in behalf of the Senate President Pro Tempore and the Chairperson of the Senate Committee on Culture and the Arts, the Honorable Senator Lauren Legarda, Yusek Rafaelita Aldaba of DTI will deliver her message for all of us here today.
Thank you good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much, Senator Lauren, for this message. Thank you for your unwavering support and commitment to driving the progress of our beloved country in these transformative times. Isang luntiang Pilipinas sa ating lahat. As we embark on this exciting journey of celebrating Filipino creativity and advancing the creative industries in the Philippines, working hand in hand, we can use this occasion to highlight the importance and impact of the Cultural Mapping Law, also known as Republic Act 11961, which I principally sponsored and authored. This law is a valuable tool in documenting, preserving, and promoting our cultural heritage, ensuring that it remains a source of inspiration and pride for future generations. I have also filed Senate bills to nurture further and preserve arts and culture, such as the Philippine Music Industry Act of 2022, the Philippine Arts in Venice Biennial Act of 2022, and the Philippine Handloom Weaving Industry Development Act of 2020. I have also continually funded and supported Philippine participation in the Frankfurt Book Messe, the world's largest and oldest trade fair for books, attracting 4,000 exhibitors from over 100 countries. It is with immense joy that I share with you that the Philippines has been selected as the guest of honor for the Frankfurt Book Fair in the year 2025. As your four-term senator, I have long supported several initiatives to cultivate arts, culture, and creativity in the Philippines. I have initiated events like the National Arts and Crafts Fair, and I have supported the School of Living Traditions, platforms where the mastery of our indigenous communities is handed down to younger generations. As your advocate and partner in championing the culture and the arts, I wholeheartedly embrace this undertaking. By nurturing and integrating our creative industries into our national agenda, we will foster economic growth and reinforce our nation's cultural identity and pride. Through this significant event, we will foster a supportive and nurturing environment for our artists, artisans, designers, and cultural workers who often work tirelessly to preserve our traditions, explore new frontiers, and express their talent. The PCIM will serve as a platform to recognize and celebrate their contributions, providing them with the opportunities and collaborations necessary for their growth and success. Under the theme of Celebrating Filipino Creativity, Advancing Creative Philippines, the PCIM will serve as a gathering of creative minds, visionaries, and enthusiasts, all coming together to highlight and honor the ingenuity and brilliance of our fellow Filipinos. It is an opportunity to showcase the diversity and richness of our cultural heritage and amplify our creative industry's impact on national development. This event aims to commemorate the historic passage of the Philippine Creative Industries Act, which I had proudly authored. This landmark of legislation reflects our steadfast commitment to nurturing the growth and development of our culture, arts, and creative sector. It is a testament to our recognition of the immense economic and social potential that lies within the creative industries. I extend my support to the National Commission for Culture and the Arts and the Department of Trade and Industry as they unite to organize the launching of the Philippine Creative Industries Month today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yusek Aldaba, and of course to our Honorable Senator for championing the causes of the creative Filipinos. And now, we stand on the verge of unveiling the symbol that will bind our artistic, innovative, and creative communities for the whole month of September. 73 creative sectors, 9 creative industries, and 3 major island groups. One nation. Our dear PCIDA champions and creative industry leaders and players joining us in person and online, let the radiant month of creativity begin. All right. So this year's PCIM celebration will promote creative outputs and raise the awareness of the pivotal role of the creative economy in nation building. And to represent the chairperson of the Philippine Creative Industries Development Council, we have with us here today the DTI Undersecretary of the Competitiveness and Innovation Group and also the Supervising Undersecretary of the Interim Secretariat of the Council. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rafaelita Fita Aldaba.
Thank you once again. Honorable Congressman, our creative champion, Christopher Toff de Venecia, our partner, NCCA, DED Marichu Teliano, IPOFIL Director General Roel Barba, DDG Ann Cabochan, and Director Emerson Cuyo, DCP ED Rhea Matute, PTTC ED Nelly Deliera, DICT Director Emmy Delfin, NCCT ED Daisy Atienza, PTRI Director Julius Leaño, DOT Director Paolo Tugbang, ICSB President Eric Caeg, and of course, my dedicated, tireless, and hardworking team led by the Director Lilian Salonga and of ADJD Darong, Good friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, a creative afternoon. Isang malikhaing araw po sa ating lahat. And we extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for courageously braving the rains to be with us today in the media launch as we open the Philippine Creative Industries Month. And as you can see, medyo bumuti-buti na yung panahon. No? It is an honor to welcome you all to our month-long celebration of the 2023 Philippine Creative Industries Month with the theme Celebrating Filipino Creatives, Advancing Creative Philippines. And highlighted in this theme is the integration of culture, creativity, and technology, which is crucial for the development of the Philippine creative industries. This synergy can lead to innovative products and services that showcase the rich cultural heritage of the country while leveraging modern technological advancements. And it is through this approach, I believe, that we will be able to achieve those KPIs, those 5 KPIs mentioned by Kong Tof earlier: revenues, employment, exports, share of the creative industries to the total GDP, and employment, right? And it's really an exciting opportunity to promote economic growth and preserve, at the same time, our cultural identity. So this convergence is really important, especially as we witness several tech trends that are shaping the creative industry's landscape. These trends include the rise of virtual reality and augmented reality experiences, the use of artificial intelligence for personalized content creation, the growth of online platforms for creative collaboration and distribution, and the adoption of blockchain technology for copyright protection and ownership tracking. These tech trends have the potential to enhance the production, distribution, and consumption of creative content while opening up new avenues for economic growth. I'm sure, Kong Tof, we will be able to double those figures that you mentioned. So, in this month-long celebration of the Philippine Creative Industries, this is going to feature a wide array of programs and events to nurture and elevate our creative spirit and display the magic and brilliance of talented Filipino artists and creators. PCIM is a showcase of innovation, imagination, and boundless possibilities that creativity brings to life. And let me also emphasize that PCIM is not just about celebrating our accomplishments, but also propelling the Philippines forward to become a significant player in the global landscape of creativity and innovation. Our goal is to foster an environment for future creativity and innovation where budding talents are nurtured, where innovation is rewarded, and where dreams find their canvas to become reality. And the Malikhaing Pinoy program, which we are currently implementing, serves as the cornerstone for achieving this goal. Okay, it's there. And I would like to highlight 3 major projects under the Malikhaing Pinoy program: the Youth Creative Challenge, Lungsod Lunsad, and Fiesta Kucha. The Young Creative Challenge is an expansive competition designed to engage and empower the youth in various creative domains and fields, including film, music, performing arts, graphic novels, animation, games, and digital content. With the support of Senator Amy Marcos, this competition serves as a platform to discover and nurture emerging talents, offering young creators the opportunity to showcase their work and to cultivate their skills in a competitive yet nurturing environment. Lungsod Lunsad is an initiative designed to invigorate cities across the country through the power of creativity and innovation, with focus on stimulating creativity and leveraging technology to build creative cities. Lungsod Lunsad aims to transform urban centers into thriving creative cities, featuring a rich tapestry of events and celebrations that would elevate and showcase the unique creatives within each city. By seamlessly merging culture, technology, and creativity, Lungsod Lunsad endeavors to lay the foundation for a more vibrant, culturally rich, and technologically advanced urban landscape. An example is, of course, Pangasinan's Anakbanwa and Galila, led by Congressman Tov. And another is the Marikina Creative and Innovative Hub that we are building with the support of Congressman Stella Kimbo. Fiesta Kucha is a dynamic platform that spotlights regional creativity through an eclectic mix of activities designed to ignite innovation and artistic expression, featuring exhibitions that showcase local talents, pitching competitions that bring fresh ideas to the forefront, networking events that foster collaboration, and lightning talks that inspire quick bursts of ingenuity. The program serves as a catalyst for enhancing creativity across various regions. Fiesta Kucha aims to stimulate a vibrant culture of innovation, connecting communities and empowering individuals through its diverse and engaging offerings. I cordially invite you to be part of this creative journey to celebrate and elevate Filipino creativity. PCIM is offering a diverse and vibrant array of events, including exhibitions, performances, showcases, skills-building workshops, mentoring sessions, knowledge exchanges, competitions, and strategic business matching activities. And this was made possible through the close collaboration between and among government agencies, industry groups, and other stakeholders who carefully curated each event to foster an environment of innovation, inspiration, and collaboration. In conclusion, embracing the fusion of creativity, culture, and technology opens a realm of infinite possibilities. It's a canvas where the rich tapestry of our heritage blends seamlessly with the innovation of the digital age. This fusion not only fuels economic progress, but also preserves our identity and stories for generations to come. Let's champion this harmonious convergence to propel our creative industries forward and showcase the brilliance that arises when tradition meets innovation. Once again, thank you for being with us today. May PCIM ignite our imaginations, spark new collaborations, and inspire us to believe in the transformative power of the fusion of culture, creativity, and technology. Mabuhay ang mga Pilipinong likha't naglikha, mabuhay ang Pilipinas, at maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Yusek Aldaba. We can't wait to join all the lineup of those activities. And now, we still have another set of programs ahead of you guys. So I would like to invite the Director of the Competitiveness Bureau of DTI and the Program Director of the Creative Industries Development Program Management Unit, Director Lilian Lil Salonga.
Thank you, Nicole. Isang malikhaing hapon sa ating lahat.
I'm very pleased to invite all of you to partake in this latest initiative of the DTI called Young Creatives Challenge. So alam nating lahat, creative ang mga Pilipino, although hindi naman tayo lahat young, di ba? Pero ito pong sa aming latest initiative ay really intended for all of us. Hindi man po tayo kasama doon sa 18 to 35, but we can encourage, of course, sa dami ng talents ng Pilipinas, ay alam natin marami po tayong ma-encourage, particularly sa 6 major categories. Ito po ay sa music, of course, kasama din po dito ang theater, kasama rin po dito ang film. Kung meron kayong mga original creation content para po sa mga categories na to, kasama rin po ang graphic novel, as well as ang ating digital animation, at of course, ang game development. Ito pong mga categories na to ay pagsasama-samahin natin para ang mga entries ay makarating sa semifinals ng end of September. Ang mga entries na to ay meron pong katapat na prizes, of course. Those who make it to the semis will have the top 30,000 each outright. And of course, the 10, it's not just the beginning of what you have as an entry. If you reach the grand finals, up to 1 million pesos po ang premyo para dito. But that's not all. Your victory can open, of course, to doors of promotion. Kasama na po ang incentives. And of course, ang IPO-Phil po ay malaki po ang parte dito na tutulungan tayo para ma-register ang inyong original compositions. Of course, it's not merely a competition, but it's really a life-changing opportunity to propel the creative career of our young Filipinos. Furthermore, ito pong Young Creatives Challenge or YC2 as we call it, alam naman nyo, marami tayong magagaling din mag-TikTok. Ito po yung ginamit namin as a packet category, ang online content challenge. Sino ba sa Pilipinas ang di nakakaalam mag-TikTok, no? But then, this will showcase their talents, of course, in making a significant impact in raising awareness about the vibrant and dynamic Philippine creative. Dito po sa next slide na pakikita ko, of course, meron din po yung premyo. Pero hindi po siya katulad ng ibang categories na open ang theme. Ito po really is centered on how to be able to promote Filipino creativity. So, lalagay niyo po yung hashtag Young Creative Challenge or hashtag YC2 to ensure that your entry is counted. So the competition not only celebrates creativity, but also empowers you as catalysts in promoting the tapestry of Philippine creativity to global audience. So ito po ay dapat meron tema kung paano natin ipopromote ang ating online creative challenge about raising awareness of Philippine creative industries. So ito po ay merong mga mechanics na makukuha nyo dun sa aming website or sa QR code para po lahat ng entries ay mabilang. Of course, meron din po itong kalakip na premyo, 30,000 for the first prize, up to 5,000 dun sa iba pong entries na mabibilang sa semifinalists. So, lastly po, we just want you to mark your calendars as we want this spectacular event. We'll be launching it on September 24, and we will be unveiling the YC2 project via Facebook Live. And we, again, look forward sa ating mga media partners to be able to promote this. Between now po hanggang sa September 22, we'll drumbeat activities para mas maraming Pilipino ang makasali at mag-participate po para sa programang ito. So once again, we extend our heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for your enthusiasm and commitment. Of course, we want to achieve the Creative Philippines with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Director Salonga, for that announcement. Parang feeling ko yung mga young ones would really be excited to join and channel their creativity into something na, showcasing Filipino pride. And now, we have another short presentation of this year's National Creative Director for PCIM celebrations, Director Jordan J.D. Darong. Let's welcome him up on stage. Oh, hi.
Good afternoon. This will be short. Okay, so can I have my presentation? Okay, so basically what I'm trying to say here is that we wanted to send our thanks to everyone for making sure that you are all here with us. I'm saying thank you to all of you because it's just one text away, one Viber away, a messenger away. Maraming salamat po for the bottom of our heart from the Department of Trade and Industry and my katuwang NCCA and the rest of the members of the council. For all of you who would like to emphasize that we have actually 4 canceled events. Last 31, we should have been here for the media launch. Yesterday, we could have been somewhere else. We could have been in the opening summit at the PICC. And we could have been the YC2 launch yesterday. And today, we could have been seeing each other in Luneta for the parade, the Gigantes. And evening tonight, we should have been in the live concert. But rain or shine, we're here. Can we have a round of applause for everybody? Because what we can actually say that creative Filipinos are indeed resilient, supportive, and loving. The Philippine Creative Industries Month, as we call it PCIM, has actually bannered a wonderful theme that we call Celebrating Filipino Creativity and Advancing the Philippines as a Creative Philippines. We have been trying to have this theme for so long, and we wanted to see and share it with you. When we were doing this program and the theme, we're trying to say that it should be a whole-of-government approach, not just within the 10 ex-official members of the council, but also beyond that, and it is the entire Philippines, from the national to the local government units. But when we were actually looking forward to announcing this, it became a whole-of-nation approach. We have been working relentlessly with private sector for the past 2 months just to ensure that all of the activities were actually enrolled at, we call it the PCIM co-branded events and PCIM co-bannered events. There are 2 major objectives that we did not reinvent. According to Section 24 of the PCIDA, the first major objective is to the promotion of the creative outputs of our creative industry players, from the creative firms, creative artists, artisans, content providers, creators, and even our indigenous cultural communities. The second objective of our celebration, it talks about how we are able to celebrate Filipino creativity at the same time trying to say and advance as a nation, as a creative one. We also wanted to share with you that there are about 8 celebration pillars. Today is the first day of our celebration. But then, if you want to celebrate with us, you can celebrate with us by providing the platform for our creative industry players to do their exhibition, installations of their creative outputs. If you want to celebrate with us as a country, please provide a mechanism for recognition, performances, and showcases of our creativity, artistry, and cultural heritage. If you want to share with us your moments, try to be able to come up with a particular workshop and write-shop. This is to ensure that we have a next generation of creative Filipinos. Another creative pillar that we have created, which actually allows us to be able to unleash the competitiveness power of Filipinos. The YC2, the Lungsod Lungsad, the Fiesta Kucha are just among the pitches and competitions that we have in store for you for the entire month of September. We have also prepared something as an exchange of dialogues and practices. We continue the conversation, and I think Yusek Fita Aldaba and Congressman Tof de Venecia has already sparked a conversation. Another celebration pillar is on a way for us to unite as a nation through our LGUs and national government agencies, represented here and those who are watching us live at RTVM and DTI Philippines. Another celebration that is worth noting is that there are about 9 creative domains and 73 plus creative sectors as mentioned. We make sure that we are giving them the avenue for them to showcase their creative outputs, at the same time, an opportunity for them to be heard in all of the discussions and conversations. Another celebration that we have added is that to make sure there's a sustainability, we provide a platform for business matching. We're trying to see the demand and the supply be married, and we see the landscape growing together. We have declared weeks of the entire month in order for us to be able to ensure that we are celebrating all the 9 domains and 70 creative sectors. The week 2, which will be happening today until this Saturday, is actually the week 2 celebrating performing arts and visual arts. Activities has been scheduled to celebrate performance and performing arts, at the same time visual arts. Week 3, you will be celebrating with us those in the creative services designed, including publishing and printed media domains, will be having their home in that very week. Another week is dedicated for our audio-visual media and digital interactive media domain. This allows our animators, game developers, filmmakers, content creators to join hand in hand in order to make sure that technology, innovation, culture, and heritage are converging. The last week of September is dedicated to our traditional cultural expressions and cultural sites. We are in the Metropolitan Theater, one of the major cultural sites that we're trying to convey to the world that we have a lot in the Philippines. And we look forward for the national museums, and all museums, private or publicly driven, should be able to open their doors to the rest of the Filipinos. On the traditional cultural expressions, you might be probably just mentioning about festivals and celebration. Behold, the gastronomy and cultural practices are part of the traditional cultural expression. Having mentioned all of this, allow me to share with you that we are not the only presenting here at the very Met Theater. We will be celebrating with the rest of the Philippines. I'll be quickly with all of this because I promised this to the rest of the people I've talked to for the past 2 months. And here we go. At exactly September 1 to 3, Pieta Theater Center will be featuring John Logan's Red. September 1, 3, 8 to 10, via Zoom, we have the Philippine International Comics Festival. Purveyor Fair will be gathering all of our enthusiasts in creativity and culture. Ladies and gentlemen, September is also the Philippine Film Industry Month, celebrating PCIM and PFIM. We will be seeing each other at the Latino Promenade Green Hills for the Film Industry Month Gala. We'll be seeing each other. Probably there will be some activities on the summer school on intellectual property. It may have been filled up already, but they are looking forward to having more of this in the coming days. September 7 is also dedicated to our Brave the New Improve Festival from September 7 to 10. We will be dancing the tune from the Manila International Dance Festival that will be celebrating diversity through music. As mentioned by Yusek Fita, we will be launching the first ever Fiesta Kucha at Cebu for the Region 7. That would be having it at the National Museum. We're working at more events coming in. There's also another set of events that you will all be interested. You go to the Dagupan, join them in a series of artists, photography, and other creative. We also would like to join, I want you to invite all of you at Cebu for the Cebu Art Book Fair. That would be for publishing and printed media domain. Another interesting is happening in South Cotabato. That would be a drama festival. Registered just recently from September 9 to 22 at Davao, we call it the Timeless Production. Should you want to also learn some dance moves and some of the emerging creativity in dance and music, it could be in Visayas, particularly in Cebu. We have from the Design Center of the Philippines, Idarea. Thank you very much for working with us. We would like to see you at the International Design Conference in the 14th and 15th of September. will be moving with us from the 30th National Public Relations Congress at the Fairmont Hotel, Makati. If you are championing public relations, please be with us on September 14 and 15. Another great activity happening in Cebu, again, at the Ayala Center, would be from 15 to 17. That would be the Cebu Art Fair, continuously been done in Ayala, Cebu. Part of the Fiesta Kucha in Cebu, or Region 7, would be the Tubu Game. It's a convergence of game developers. We'll also be seeing each other for the Writers Series, Art of the Balak. That would be still in Cebu from our National Museum of the Philippines. Another something close to the heart of our dear Kong Tof. We'll be seeing each other at the Met and Samsung Performing Arts Theater for the Rama Hari. Interestingly, for our PFIM and all celebration, we hope to see you at the Zobel de Ayala Recital Hall, Maybank Performing Arts Theater, and BGC Arts Center for Bawat Bonggang Bagay. Interestingly, I would talk to Tita Mindy from the Repertory of the Philippines for the extravagance of Snow White and the Prince, and that will be happening anytime soon. We have with us our family from the blockchain community. Thank you very much for co-branding with us for the Philippine Blockchain Week 2023. That will be running from September 19 to 21 from the Marriott Grand Ballroom. I think we have just recently announced that our dear Michael Cinco will be coming, the fusion of fashion, blockchain, and technology. We'll also be seeing our creative entrepreneurship, making sure that we have a next generation of creatives that has an entrepreneurial spirit and entrepreneurial mindset, making a way for a sustainable creative Philippines. Another artistry will be coming over for the September Fever Music Talks from here in Punk Cafe from September 22 and September 23, respectively. Another event is happening again at Cebu for the 48-hour film marathon. What do you mean by 48 film marathon? Meaning all of the contestants or competitors will only be given 48 hours to create a film given a particular category. So we'll see how creativity will flourish within competitive environment within the country. Another event is also happening in September 22 to 24 in Cebu. And then from Philippine Film Development Council of the Philippines for their PFIM, we have Sini Kabataan. We'll be seeing each other at the red carpet Shangri-La for the movie screenings and talkbacks. We also would like to inform everyone that our Department of Foreign Affairs are also joining us with their own photography competition, been driven by the visual arts domain. Following the visual arts domain are also some workshops and visual storytelling activities where we can actually promote our youth within Dagupan City. We're happy to inform you moving from Cebu, we are now moving to Mindanao. Davao will be launching the Fiesta Kucha in the Mindanao to be hosted by Davao City. There are activities that are called Creative Innovation Summit and is still over until October. We also would like to inform everybody that there's a 3-day training program of our Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines. Please register should you want to have. There's only a limited slot, but Kongtop is promising us to give more resources so we could have more of this. Speaking of Mindanao, we are also moving towards this resonating and reverberating Mindanao art from September 24 to October 1. Move back to Cebu, they have Sketcha Kucha with Light Fest. It's actually an amalgamation of the creative sectors in the entire Visayas. Another activity, this one is to ensure that the Creative Learning Academy that was presented by our Yusek Fita a while back is being tested. Within our FabLac, that's the TESDA launching. This allows our creative sectors to have a creative space for them to be able to imagine and embrace technological breakthroughs. Otop Store has been launched for the first time at Cebu during this period of our PCIM, showcasing the one town, one creative product of the Central Visayas. For our local government units, we have declared the first ever Creative Cities and Municipalities Congress. So save the date and see you at the Manila Hotel on September 28. the most competitive cities and municipalities will be competing for the cities and municipalities competitiveness index, and in where we could actually see not only economic dynamism, infrastructure, government efficiency, and innovation. We're looking at creativity as one of the areas for consideration. There's so much things going on at Cebu to make sure that this is not only within Metro Manila. So we will be having the Cebu Light Fest at the Seaside Cebu City. That comes about storytelling, spanning from poetry, cosplay, books, film, theater, and many more. I'm now on the last slides, so bear with me. With Eli, Buendia, Bamboo, and the rest of our world-class musicians and artists, we will be seeing them on September 30. And that's the rest of the Creative Industries Month. We will be seeing you on September 29 and 30 for the grand closing ceremonies, wherein we will see how the entire Philippines celebrated with us. I hope that everybody who is here doesn't need an invitation, because we have now verbally invites you to our 29 and 30 September closing ceremonies. For all of you who would like to join us in our celebration, we wanted to ensure that we're enjoining the rest of the government and the private sector and the investment sector and the civil society. And we actually would try to ensure that your events will be co-branded with us, co-bannered with us. Please let us know how we could help you share the good news and creativity. For everyone who would like to be part of our month-long celebration, to all who are watching us all over the country, please make sure that you're able to enroll your PCIM activity within our website. At the same time, if you wanted to know more about what's going on, the things that I have just mentioned, for all the details, you can also look at it at our co-branded and co-banded events in the website. And lastly, after you have conducted the event, please share your videos and photos. We will come up with a nationwide video of all the activities that is happening from September 1 to September 30. I think that ends my presentation. Maraming salamat. I'm just equally excited for all of you to be part of our events. Sana hindi po tayo magkakasawaan po, because there are so many activities in our calendar that is not shown. There are still 20 more activities coming up. So stay tuned. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, Director Jordan Darong. Parang talagang month-long celebration of the arts tayo all over the nation. And now, the DTI has expressed its sincerest appreciation to the management and staff of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or NCCA, for their untiring support in making sure that the PCIM is officially launched today. And with us is the NCCA Deputy Executive Director and NCCA's representative to the Philippine Creative Industries Development Council, our DED, Marichu Ichu Deliano.
To a dear friend and the town's supporter for culture and the arts at Congress, Congressman Toff de Venecia, and indeed the dialogue and conversations with the good congressman had started long before discussions of creative industry and creative economy, you know, because there's so many things about the NCCA, about the culture and the arts that we had been discussing with him. To all our partners in the DTI, Yusek Fita Aldaba, to Director Darong, Director Lilian, and I guess I will just skip salutations of a long list, but to all our the members of the Philippine Creative Industries Council who are here today, it's really a pleasure to welcome you to the Metropolitan Theater. But I would like to give recognition to the members of the media who, in a quick call, is able to come today. So let's give them a round of applause. They are truly very important in the dissemination of the programs and the activities that we have. Kasi kahit gaano kaganda, if this will be kept secret, then hindi rin po magiging successful. Kaya salamat po sa inyo. After the presentation, can I have the presentation, please? After the presentations that's given by DTI, and all the long list of activities and programs that we have, I feel that what we are going to share this afternoon as initiatives of the NCCA, as far as the celebration of the Philippine Creative Industries Month, would be really just a small bite of the big celebrations that's already been prepared. The NCCA, for the longest time of its existence, had been focused on safeguarding, conservation, development, and promotion of culture and the arts. That the whole idea of the creative industries is something that we really have to journey, especially for the cultural workers and the creatives within the sector. But as was said by Congressman Toff, it's very clear that the creative industry cannot be without the soul, which is the culture and the arts, because otherwise we will just be producing works that has no value and meaning to the country. So the NCCA, for that matter, is really also traversing from its mandate of safeguarding promotion, which allow, I think, the whole part of the range of work within the creative industry, because safeguarding can be done by intellectual property rights and protection, and all the other things that we are doing is indeed giving respect and due consideration to our culture and the arts. Otherwise, wala din talagang kahulugan yung lahat pong ginagawa natin sa creative industry. So, the celebration of the Creative Industries Month through RA 11104, for the NCCA, the contribution that we can give is really an advocacy in the promotion. We don't have those budgets in millions to give us grants or to give us prizes, but I guess the efforts and the creativity within the sector would be our contribution in terms of the promotion. So the month has an objective to be able to promote the goods, the products, and the services of the Philippine creative industries, and to raise awareness on the role of creative industry in nation building, and of course in building our economy. So I think it is in that area that we are doing programs to be able to help advocacy and making the public understand and appreciate what is creative industry. We follow the framework of the creative industries in the Philippines, utilizing the 9 domains, as was mentioned already. And the program of the NCCA, for the next slide, is actually based on a concept of perya ng sining, bukal ng galing. It utilizes the model of perya because this is actually common across the different communities in the country. So even in the advent of the new times and new media, we still see that the perya is actually a shared venue of the Filipino hopes and even creativity. So thus we use this model to be able to celebrate the Philippine Creative Industries Month. And we have 4 sites that we are bringing the perya ng sining, bukal ng galing. Dapat yun yung gagawin natin today sa Luneta. So we set up actually tents with 25 different workshops covering all the 9 domains of creative industries. And we had organized workshops because we feel that understanding of the different domains of the creative industries would only be possible if they are engaged in it. So the workshops will give actually an understanding or an experience of what are these industries that we call as creative industries. So yun sana yung gagawin natin today. Kaso lang medyo maputik sa Luneta at open space siya and we only have tents. That is why we are not canceling this. We are moving the event to September 17, hoping that by that time it would be better. Why are we using Luneta as a venue? Because it is a captured audience for a general public. Pag Sunday, ang Luneta puno ng tao. So we want to target also general public for the dissemination of the concept and of the understanding and appreciation about creative industries. So yun yung isang gawin supposed to be natin, yung perya ng sining, may 25 workshops doon. And we have one guest, the Meta Tokyo, which would like to share, actually Filipino po yung kanilang director. No? So we invited them to be able to share with us on game development. And all, like we have workshops supposed to be on design, so ang tinap namin is Marikina for the design of the shoes. So we looked for certain examples of the industries that are very practical and that are within the experience of the community. But anyway, we will be doing that on September 17. Then we will go to Iloilo and Bacolod. And we will just replicate, essentially, what we will be doing in Luneta, but utilizing their own local creative industries. But there will also be discussions because we feel that not so many people have understood the law itself, yung Philippine Creative Industries Development Act, and even the whole concept of the creative industry. So there will be a series of discussions on what is creative industry, on design, on innovation, on intellectual property rights, and all of this. So that would be part of the program that we're going to do. We will have demonstrations on the food, we will have photo and arts exhibitions, and of course, showcases of the local performing arts. Then we will be going to, in Mindanao, we will be going to Coronadal on September 28. Replicate the same activity as well, but just design the workshops and the different activities according to the local talents and the local products that they have. The one in Iloilo is a good experience because this is in partnership with SM Mall. So it is an experience of an engagement of the private sector with us to be able to implement the Creative Industries Month. So, pakitakbo na lang. So anyway, ito lang po yung mga konting programang ginagawa ng NCCA to be able to share in the promotion of the Philippine Creative Industries Month and with some of the pocket activities that we are doing or satellite activities that we are doing. So ultimately, we would like to encourage, of course, the participation of everyone, and especially of the media, to continue to help us in promoting every portion, every component of the events within the Philippine Creative Industries Month. So let us celebrate our culture and creativity. Let us support our creatives so that we would be able to contribute in rebuilding our economy. So magandang hapon po sa ating lahat at sana po magiging successful ang ating celebration.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Ichu. Sayang na na-miss out namin yun dahil sa bagyo, pero sana ma-experience naman namin to sa ibang parte ng Pilipinas. And now, with the messages and presentations that we have all seen and heard throughout the day, we want to continue the conversation of the themes encompassing the intent and promise of the PCIDA law, the rationale and celebration events of the PCIM, and the projects under DTI's Malikhaing Pinoy program. So acknowledging the pivotal role that the media plays in promoting creativity and raising awareness of the value of the creative industries in nation building, we now give the floor to our media partners. So to our media partners present, please just state your name later on and the organization you represent, and kindly direct your questions to our PCIDA champions. We are currently setting up the stage here for our panelists, and I would like to call on them one by one right now. We have from DTI, Dr. Rafaelita Fita Aldaba. And we also have from DOST, our PTRI Director, Dr. Julius Leaño Jr. And from DOT, we have Paulo Tugbang. From DICT, we have Director Emmy Lou Versosa Delfin. from the NCCA, our Deputy Executive Director, Marichu Teliano. And finally, from IPOPhil, we have Yusek Roel Barba. So they will serve as our panelists for today. And of course, we have Kong Toff also, who will join the panel as well. So, to our friends from the media, if you have further questions about the implementation of the entire framework that we have discussed throughout the day, as well as the celebrations and the events lined up, that will happen not only in Manila but all over the Philippines as well. This will be the perfect time to get more information from our key speakers. All right, our panel is almost complete. So once again, to our friends from the media, you can approach the 2 microphones that we set up right here in front if you have any questions, and kindly introduce yourselves and tell us which organization you are representing. And we would like to reiterate one more time, like what Ma'am Ichu said a while ago, your help to spread the word about the celebrations and events that we have lined up for you will be of great help, lalo na ito yung launching namin mismo. So we would like to see how far all this goes para mas mapapalaki pa natin ang ating plataforma sa mga susunod na taon. There. So, the floor is now open for questions.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm MJ Balaguer of DCMJ Online. My question is to DOST PTRI Director kasi po hindi ko napakinggan yung contribution. What is the contribution of DOST, especially the PTRI, on this month celebration of Philippine Creative Industry Month?
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. On behalf of the DOST Secretary, may I convey some of our initiatives. So, for the Philippine Textile Research Institute in particular, we are technically in the last final leg of releasing the materials for the textile. This is related to the PCIM. Ano po? The release of the textile bootcamp this month, but the end will be during the National Youth Science and Technology Fair in October. So this is also an initiative from Congress, which was also inserted in our budget, the DOST budget last year. In particular po sa Philippine Textile Research Institute, we wanted to elevate the level of the knowledge of our TVET and senior high school students as far as their responsible, sustainable use of Philippine textiles. Kasi marami po hindi po alam. So yung iba, ginagawang table runner, yung loincloth ng Cordillera, for example, or ginagawa nating bolero, yung death blanket ng Abra. These are all some of the things that we sometimes overdo. And through this initiative, we wanted to raise the awareness of responsible use of Philippine textiles. At the same time, it's merging with our Philippine fashion industry. So, TVET and senior high school po yung tina-target natin because the earlier we go, the better. Para po hindi lang ito about sketching and making new clothes, but also making them very, very aware of the creative and cultural value of these fabrics. So, that's one, the textile bootcamp. We are also launching this month the Bamboo Textiles PH. This is some of the new developments on the DOSC side. We were able to get textile fiber from bamboo. We are now just waiting for the IP protection before we open our mouth. Otherwise, baka mawala na naman po yung intellectual property sa atin. But technically, bamboo textile fiber, which can be used as part actually of the uniform for government. So there's also another law that mandates the use of Philippine textiles for our government uniforms, and that's the second one that we are also launching for this month. And yung pangatlo po is towards the end of the month, we are also holding the launch of the Philippine Handloom Weaving Conference, which is the technical arm of the Likha initiatives of Malacanang. And this one also provides us a better perspective of handloom weaving from the scientific and technological perspective. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you din po.
Thank you so much for that question. And thank you so much, Director Julius Leaño, for that very insightful answer. I didn't know there were yung mga misuse ng textiles. And it's so hard to look for resources, actually, to educate ourselves on that. So it's good that you're going down to the high school.
Sundutin ko lang yun. Kasi mataas na rin po kasi ngayon yung issue ng counterfeiting of Philippine textiles. So it's also one that has got the attention of Congress in the middle of the pandemic. Kasi yung Cordillera weaves po, tina-transfer na nila as prints. And then yung iba naman, nagpapanggap na woven textiles in the Philippines, but they are not. So only for trained eyes, you would see immediately, hindi yan. Pero paano pag hindi trained yung eyes mo? And Filipinos are also very obsessed with cheaper fabrics. So napupunta po tayo dun sa trade na yon. And we wanted to stop that at the very onset. And this is part of our commitment as well with Congress, because the anti-counterfeiting part is also corrupting the industry as well. So these are part of the initiatives that we're trying to push. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, po, sir. That's a very urgent issue indeed. And speaking of textiles, we also have, like right over on this side, there's a tinalak weaving demo right there. So if you want to educate yourselves further and become like an interactive activity, then po, you can visit this side of the booth. All right, so we have another question.
Good afternoon to our panelists. I'm EJ Gomez po from CNN Philippines. My question is for Kong De Venecia. Sir, you mentioned during your speech earlier that we need more investments for the Philippine creative industry because, in fact, investors are interested. We'd like to elaborate more on that. And, of course, the bigger question there is how exactly can the government develop the market for malikhaing produkto ng mga malikhaing Pinoy?
All right, I'm going to answer it initially and then I'm going to pass it on to you, Sekvita, because that's exactly what we were just talking about like 30 seconds ago. So I am the Vice Chair of Appropriations and I'm defending the budget of DTI, so I've been sort of making myself more aware of all the programs and all of the successes and all the challenges. But I was so happy to see like one creative industry related investment approved by the Board of Investments. And of course, we need to amp up our investment promotions in this particular sector. I mentioned the MOU with Indonesia earlier. This was entered into by the Philippines and Indonesia just days after the first State of the Nation address of the President. And I had an opportunity to discuss this with Minister Santiago Uno of the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy at the Creative Economy Forum last year in Bali. And so this is something that we're looking forward to materializing to see how we can encourage more cooperation, not just within the bilateral relationship of Philippines and Indonesia, but also how to mainstream creative economy in the ASEAN. Through creating a technical working group, because this is really something that is an emerging economic sector within ASEAN. Here in the Philippines, of course, when we commissioned that study with the Philippine Statistics Authority, we were so surprised with the figures that they were able to generate, while of course we're still firming up the methodology for capturing that information. But again, we need to educate our different investment promotions agencies on the different opportunities that await investors when they come to the Philippines to support the creative ecosystem in the country. Of course, that's the investment promotion agencies, and not to mention activation of the CREATE law and the incentives that await these locators and investors in the creative industries. Maybe you, Sekvita, can expound on that a bit more.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Kong Tof, our creative champion, with our catalyst, kung hindi talaga dun sa ginawa ni Kong Tof nung pandemic. Imagine, no, he did all this work amid the pandemic. But going back to the question, in terms of how we're creating the markets to attract more investments, siguro, dadagdagan ko lang yung sinabi ni Kong Tof, we do a lot of promotion, especially now that there's really a huge demand, not only for outsourced creative activities, but the demand really is bigger for creative works, original content. And given the Malikhaing Pinoy program, given the PCIDA, really yun yung crucial as we create the environment that would enable us to build this capacity and be able to realize our objective, and that is to become Asia's creative hub in the very near future. So I was just telling Kong Tof about the recent festival where we participated. We had a booth together with FDCP, the Film Development Council of the Philippines, and we were able to generate sales of around $30 million, covering mga sales yon, mga co-production, and other funding. And at the same time, sumama din, we were bringing 10 animation companies who participated in a pitching competition. Maraming nag-attend dun sa Philippine booth. Marami tayong kasabay, pero napuno yung booth natin. And at the same time, there was also a Southeast Asian pitching competition organized there at ANSI. Tatlo naman yung companies natin that participated there. So it is through this participation in exhibitions and fairs abroad that we're able to demonstrate to the world kung ano yung capacities and capabilities, the creativity, and then yun nga, no, the fusion of technology, culture, and creativity here in the Philippines. And we're hoping that through all these initiatives and through our sustained efforts, we'll really be able, Kong Tof, to realize yung mga goals that you mentioned earlier. If not, sana we'll be able to double in 2 years' time, in a short period of time. And that's how really yung Malikhaing Pinoy and the PCIDA are really crucial in terms of achieving all of this. Hindi lang yung investments, but at the same time, through these investments, we're able to create not just any job, pero quality jobs.
Thank you, Yusek Aldaba. Going back, just 2 follow-ups po. Kung you mentioned about the budget, for this year, we have 410 million pesos po, no? Can you cite lang po kung ano po yung mga aspect exactly, kung saan po channel initially itong 410 million pesos? And for next year, are we pushing for higher budget po for the creative industry?
Yes, so I believe the Young Creative Challenge is the 50 million. And then the 250 million was just recently downloaded to DTI by the DBM. And that's essentially the funding source for all of the Malikhaing Pinoy programs that were discussed earlier by DTI during the program. And then, of course, there is the 110 million that I believe will be downloaded sometime next year. The budget appropriations are usually valid for 2 years. And so at least we have seed capital for Malikhaing Pinoy for next year. Now we are in the process of deliberating the budget for 2024. And the initial allocation of the DBM to Malikhaing Pinoy is 50 million. As opposed to last year, it was 0. So for me, that's already a win that our economic managers recognize the value that creative industries bring to the table. Of course, it's now incumbent upon us in the lower house, in the Senate, to be able to raise the 50 million to at least at the same level or even higher. Because really, what I failed to mention earlier in our message is that the goal is for the Philippines to be the #1 creative economy in ASEAN by 2030.
So it's now 2023. So we have 7 years to do that. So now we have a developmental framework in place because of the law. Now we just need the resources so that they can implement the different mandates of the law so that we can, pump up and prime up our performance, especially in exports of our creative content. I said earlier, we are #1 in ASEAN in exporting our creative services. Of course, we've always known that Philippines is a very service-oriented country. Our service is really, bar none, it's really the best if not in ASEAN, in the entire world. But our creative goods are sort of middling because of so many different problems. Of course, high power rates, a weak or a struggling manufacturing base. We have logistics concerns. And then now, this creative industry law is an enabling mechanism for a whole of government approach to developing the sector and addressing the many different pain points that have been plaguing the different creative industry sectors for decades. If I may just share, I remember our hearings for the furniture and fashion industry, and they told us that it's more expensive to ship your furniture from Visayas or Cebu to NCR than to Singapore. So why is that? There are so many problems, and for the longest time, creative industry is super bottom in the priority list. So now we're just elevating the profile so more and more government agencies are able to actually allocate passion, energy, and action to solving these issues.
One last question po from the CNN Philippines. Anyone can answer po. Ibaba lang po natin dun para sa mga kapwa natin Pilipino, especially those involved or kabilang sa creative industry po dito sa bansa natin. What can our kababayans expect with this program po natin, and now that we have the law, and what's the future of creative industry in the Philippines?
Yes, for the Department of Tourism, on behalf of Secretary Cristina Frasco, we're very excited to be part of the Philippine Creative Industries Month because for the longest time, our Secretary and of course the DOT has been championing tourism not only to be something that's consumed or experienced, but really more on co-created by not only our international tourists, but also our local tourists. So what we've been doing for the DOT side is to host for December, and of course there will be a pre-congress that will happen this September in line with the Philippine Creative Industries Month. Creative Tourism Summit, which will happen in December 6 to 9, wherein we'll be bringing experts from across the globe to teach our tourism officers, to teach our local government units in creating products that are more in tune with the Filipino spirit. No? It's not just about letting our tourists experience the Philippines by consuming it, but also by creating opportunities for them to co-create with the locals, to be more immersive, to be more participative in nature. So sa amin, yun yung gusto naming ibahagi as part of the creative industries. We want tourism to be more proactive in terms of creating opportunities for our locals and for our tourism stakeholders to be co-creative with our guests, our foreigners, both, and also for our domestic tourists.
Good afternoon, sir. For the ICT, good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to be here. So the ICT is part of the council, and one of the missions of the ICT is to ensure the growth and competitiveness of the ICT-enabled industries that will result to the creation of more jobs. So particular one ICT industry is creative industry. So yung question po kanina ng CNN Philippines is how do we bring this to Filipinos, particular to the countryside? So one of the programs po is the ICT is capacitating our locations. Particularly, we call that program Digital Cities. So what we do is we capacitate the stakeholders, the ecosystem in those cities, and even actually promoting, developing their cities as creative industry destination. And we have identified several cities, for example, Naga, Lawag, Baguio, and even Iligan as creative industry destinations. So particular programs that we do is doing advocacy programs, inviting, encouraging Filipinos, the students, to join the creative industry. And at the same time, part of our support for the many past years, working together with so I'm talking about digital creative kasi yun po yung mandate ng DICT. Of course, aside from providing connectivity, so working closely with our industry partners, the Animation Council of the Philippines, and the Game Developers Association of the Philippines, and other sector associations that will really actually bring jobs, not only here in Metro Manila, but to the countryside in the name of creative industry.
Yeah, thank you, Kong Tov. Well, of course, what will it mean to the ordinary, to our, to Juan or to Maria, no? Anong meaning itong ginagawa nating big promotion and developing, strengthening our creative industries? Well, for one, importante kasi na yung mga programa natin, hindi lang naka-base dito sa NCR, but as earlier presented, we really want to create more creative cities, more creative regions. Kaya nandun yung Fiesta Kucha, nandun yung ating lungsod-lunsad, wherein nagbibigay tayo ng support sa mga LGUs natin, sa mga cities, as well as kasama na din dito yung mga DTI regional offices, no? What we want really is for all these groups and stakeholders to work together and collaborate in developing and promoting yung creative industries dun sa specific area, no? And this is really important in order for us to sustain yung contribution ng creative industries, which right now 7%, 1.6 trillion ng pesos worth yung contribution sa economy, and that's 7%, no, of the GDP. And at the same time, almost 7 million workers. And para ma-sustain natin ito, we need to continue reaching out down to the barangay level siguro, no? Gusto natin makasama lahat dito sa mga festivities and celebrations, the intent of which is really i-promote and create the awareness. Kasi minsan, ang mga magulang, di ba, nakikita nila na ay wala namang future dyan sa creative. But what we're trying to say is, meron kang career dito sa creative. Kaya nga, yung ginagawa natin ngayon, we're really trying to leverage on existing technologies, yung fusion ng technology, creativity, and innovation, napaka-importante because ito yung magiging tool natin para mas marami pang mga industriya ang mag-emerge sa mga cities, in different regions, para yung mga trabaho na makikreate natin would really be high quality, no? High-paying jobs. Siguro kung iko-compara mo sa ibang services sectors, while of course, yun yung malaking contribution sa economy, pero in terms of the value added, maliit lang yon as compared sa isang sector like creative na nakaka-produce ka ng original content na talagang ang market hindi lamang sa bansa but including sa abroad. And we can feel that, siguro going back dun sa question kanina on investments, marami nang pumupuntang mga companies that are interested to invest here in the country. Kami naman sa BOI and DTI, we of course provide all the necessary support para matulungan itong mga companies na to, especially in terms of yung paghanap ng mga tamang tao. Pero at the same time, importante din kasi yung Creative Learning Academy na gagawin natin under the Malikhaing Pinoy para ma-nurture nating mabuti yung mga budding creative workers dito sa ating industriya.
Kong Tov, can I?
Yes, go ahead.
Kami po naman sa Intellectual Property of the Philippines ay nakikisa po no? DTI at ganoon na rin po sa Development Council. Kaya isang message lang ni ADJD kagabi na may press con ngayon. Nagmamadali pa po tayong umattend, no? Unang-una po, nandito po ang IPOFIL para po pangalagaan ang karapatan po ng ating mga kababayan sa intellectual property rights nila, no? Kaya kami po, pinag-iigting po namin yung mga improvements sa aming pong services sa pag-register po ng trademarks, copyright, patents, utility model at industrial design, no? Pangalawa, development, meron din po kami development functions, no? Umiikot po kami sa buong Pilipinas para po i-brief po natin na ating mga creatives tungkol po sa karapatan nila, no? Kaya dahil po based po sa experience namin, marami po sa ating mga creatives ang hindi po nakakaalam kung ano po yung karapatan nila sa batas, no? Kaya patuloy po 'yan at patuloy rin po kami nakikipag-cooperate sapagkat sabi nga po ni Kong Tof kanina, dapat whole of government approach, no? And hindi po, hanggat hindi po tayo nararamdaman ng ating mga kababayan Pilipino, hindi pa po tapos ang functions ng Development Council. Sa pamamagitan lang po ng pakikipagtulungan ng bawat isa sa atin, hindi lang po ng public sector, no, pati na rin po private sector. And I acknowledge the President of the International Council of Small Business, si Eric Paig, who is present here, na katulong po natin, pati rin po yung mga private sectors, no? Lalong-lalo na po sa amin, sapagkat naniniwala po kami na hindi namin may encourage ang ating mga kababayan na magrehistro kung hindi po natin mapoprotektahan. Kaya isa pong function din po namin ay enforcement po, no? Lalong-lalo na po ngayon sa panahon ng pandemya na marami nag-online. So marami rin po mga kaso ng piracy na nakikita po natin ngayon, no? So dati po counterfeiting lang sa mga brick and mortar, sa mga tindahan. Pero ngayon po, naging komplikado na po ang sitwasyon. Meron na rin po tayong mga kalaban sa online. Kaya yung pakikipagtulungan po natin, hindi lamang po sa government agencies, ngunit ganoon na rin po sa mga other private sector. Maraming salamat po.
And finally, I just wanted to add na maliban dun sa Philippine Creative Cities Network na salient feature ng batas, kung saan gusto natin i-empower yung mga local chief executives natin for creative governance at kung paano makakaresponde sa pangangailangan ng ating mga malikhaing Pinoy sa barangay, ay isa pang salient feature ng batas ay yung mga existing na mga negosyo center sa lahat ng LGU. Gusto natin siya gawing one-stop shop para sa lahat ng mga creatives na gustong i-register ang kanilang mga produkto, ang kanilang mga negosyo at ma-avail yung mga serbisyo ng gobyerno. Kasi minsan talagang may karagatan sa pagitan ng creative sa barangay at yung mga batas na ganito na national government agency ang nagpapatupad. So at least man lang meron ng puntahan sa local level ang ating mga malikhaing Pinoy. At pangatlo, meron rin tayong section dun sa batas na kung tawagin ay Creative Education and Instruction. Kung saan ang DepEd, CHED at TESDA ay kailangan makipagtulungan sa ating mga malikhaing mga firm or kumpanya para mas ma-address yung pangangailangan ng mga kumpanya nung training na nangyayari sa ating mga educational and technical vocational institutions. Kasama rin sa batas yung pagbibigay ng scholarships, hindi lamang sa mga malikhaing kabataan, kundi dun sa mga malikhaing Pinoy na nakagraduate na gusto maghasa sa kanilang mga pinagkakabalahan or kanilang mga career. And of course, yung nabanggit din kanina sa presentation is yung suportahan yung mga non-formal learning modalities na meron tayo ngayon sa ating komunidad. Isa dyan ang mga museums. Dapat matulungan ng lahat ng museums sa ating bansa, pribado ba niyan or pampubliko. Pangalawa, dapat matulungan ng lahat ng gumagawa ng mga webinar. at ng mga online seminar na naglalayong makatulong sa ating mga creative workers at creative youth. Pangatlo, dapat makatulong ang Malikhaing Pinoy sa ating mga Schools for Living Tradition na programa ng NCCA para yung ating malikhaing Pinoy ngayon, hindi nila makalimutan ang kanilang kultura at tradisyon, lalo na yung mga ngayon ay medyo naglalaho or medyo nagko-contract kasi hindi pumapasok or hindi na-appreciate ng ating malikaing kabataan ang mga tradisyon na sinimula ng kanilang mga ninuno. And of course, support din sa mga creative residency programs, whether gobyerno man or pribadong sektor, ang nagpapatakbo because isang paraan ito parang creatives mula sa ibang lugar ay pumunta sa inyong sa inyong city or municipality para makapag-network, makapag-jamming, makapag-collaborate doon sa mga creatives doon sa inyong barangay para kumbaga nagiging mas kilala ang creatives sa barangay doon sa national or sa level ng national. So actually, marami pong mga programa ang Philippine Creative Industry Development Act na talagang mararamdaman at mapapakinabangan ng ating mga 7 million higit na malikhaing Pilipino.
All right, thank you so much to our panelists. Is there a follow-up question?
Yes po. Good afternoon po to everyone. So, we are part of the creative industry po. We are the organizer po of the Manila International Dance Festival, which will happen po on September 8 to 10 sa Rizal Park po. So, kami po ay nagsimula lang sa iba't ibang grupo na nag-usap about sa ideyang ito. And we are very surprised lang din when the counterparts from the other nation po is nagbigay ng kanilang commitment to be with us on this festival. So right now po, we have like 5 countries joining us. Then surprisingly, more than 20 groups from all over the Philippines po ang sasali for the festival. Bago lang po ang aming binuong grupo at medyo overwhelming po ang naging response din ng community. And we are very happy na naging part po kami ng PCIM celebration. Now, my question po is like sa aming mga grupo po na nagsisimula pa lang sa ganito na just to let you know lang po, ang dami po talagang magagaling creative people all over the Philippines na talagang suporta lang din po ang hinihintay. Nung una naglabas kami ng invitation to join the festival, marami po yung gustong sumali. But then along the way, ang naging challenge na sa kanila is of course yung expenses along the way, how they will be transported from their city going to the main venue and such, which is kami po being, wala pa talaga kaming budget. Nag-depend lang po talaga kami sa sponsors, more in-kind and services and products of the brands po na tinap namin. Ngayon, my question po, ano po kaya ang pwedeng maging participation po ng ating bagong programa para sa mga ganitong event initiated po ng hindi naman po talaga totally like government agency or more of a private or a community group po?
Salamat sa tanong. Pwede po kayo na siguro makipag-partner sa kung saan nakalocate yung inyong organization. Meron namang DTI, regional office, or sa mga DTI provincial offices. And then if you can work together, pwede rin pala, apart from DTI, dun sa LGU where you are, pwedeng mag-work together kayo and craft a proposal. Siguro pwede yung pecha kucha dito, pwede rin lunsod-lunsad. Kasi kung yun yung, yung competitive advantage ng lugar, gusto nating i-highlight yun eh. Gusto nating matulungan at ma-market yung lahat ng mga activities na gagawin through yung proposal sana kailangan natin kasi yun yung pagmumulan nung klase ng support na pwede naming ibigay. Pwede po tayong mag-discuss siguro or if you can get in touch with one of the members of the team para we can help you in crafting the proposal. Yun po yung the best way by which we could work together with you. And yung Pecha Kucha, Lungsod-Lunsad, including yung Young, unfortunately, walang dance yata doon sa wala, no? Doon sa Young Creatives Challenge. But now that you're bringing it up, maybe doon sa next, sa next phase ng program, we can probably include that. Pero that doesn't discount yung fact na you can come up with your own proposal and you submit it to us. We'll do the necessary evaluation and help you in terms of carrying out whatever mga activities that you would include in the proposal.
Yes po, actually we did the sending of letters of proposal and the letter of intent po with different agencies. Luckily, we had the commitment of the LGU of the City of Manila, the National Parks Development Committee. We also send letters with the intramuros administrations. Ang naging challenge lang po namin, like for example, for like kay Kong Tof is yung having the letter on the table, parang ganun po. So, we send out already the proposal, such mga more than a month or two. Kaya po, parang yun lang po siguro yung avenue na hinahanap ng creative people like us, na parang paano po ba siya pwedeng, the proposal po is really part din po talaga ng planning and the whole process po. But yun lang po siguro yung challenge, yung parang hindi na malaman kung how can we really get in touch po doon sa right agency or office po.
Yeah, maybe we can also add on to that. We may not have a big budget as that of DTI, but the National Commission for Culture and the Arts is also offering grants, especially for organizations, for NGOs, for CSOs, in initiating programs for the promotion of the various sectors of the arts. Actually, the NCCA cover a whole range of 19 different sectors, from arts to cultural education, to cultural heritage, and to the cultural communities and traditional arts. So there's really a wide range. And we open the call every, from March to August of the year for the following year. So the schedule of our project call is usually a year ahead of its implementation, because we are aligning with the budgeting of the government. So I hope that next time we are just in Intramuros. If you are familiar with this area, or you can come here at the Met, you can ask for information, because annually we're providing grants to different organizations in the arts.
Okay, in response to your question, sir, first we need a roadmap for the performing arts as an industry. Because I work in the performing arts myself, and ang daming problema. And we're all just trying to do our best to mount our productions, festivals, and whatever. I mean, you have the Manila International Dance Festival, you have the theater productions there, you have the Improv Festival, and unlike the support that performing arts gets in countries like Europe, dito it's very, very minimal, if at all, right? So first, we need to identify ano-ano ba yung problems. I think there are problems with labor insofar as yung bayad sa ating mga performers. Pangalawa, walang subsidies or hardly any subsidies na nanggagaling sa gobyerno. yung mga theater productions sa London, sa UK, because of their arts councils of England, 50% ng revenue nila ay nanggagaling sa state subsidy. So kung magbe-break even ka at 50%, sa subsidy mo pa lang sa gobyerno, break even ka na. Yung ticket sales na mabebenta mo after that, bonus na yon, profit na yon. So obviously, the value chain here for the performing arts is broken and something needs to be fixed. Third, if you are somebody who operates and organizes festivals, it's very possible na masubject din kayo sa amusement tax. Ang amusement tax ay pinapataw ng local governments, formerly 30%, now 10%. Not of net of your gross. And so, hindi lahat ng LGUs are aware of the role that they play in the sustainability and productivity of the performing arts as an industry. Of course, meron din tayong marketing na talagang forever yan problema sa performing arts. Hindi lahat marunong mag-organize ng press con or kung sino man ang i-invite nila sa press con, it depends kung may makakilala kang press, 'di ba? And then of course, yung paggamit ng social media sa pag-promote ng ating mga services, hindi lahat ng performing arts companies ay hasa or marunong sa ganyang aspeto. So kailangan ng upskilling rin on the part of stakeholders sa performing arts kung paano gamitin ng digital tools as well as kung paano mag-market ng ating mga goods and services. So yung roadmap is a salient feature of the Creative Industry Law. Magsisimula na po yan, napasimulan na initially ng NCCA, napondohan po natin yan. And then kailangan ipagpatuloy para mas marami pang performing arts stakeholders ang sumali para malaman natin ano ba ang kailangan ng performing arts sector. Maliban sa roadmap marketing support, so we're very happy na itong PCIM, there's an enabling mechanism, yung QR code, para ma-promote ang inyong mga events. Kasi, of course, it's about awareness, it's about information na ang dami-daming kakompetensya, you're all fighting for attention from your audiences. And in fact, September, ang dami-daming productions na nangyayari dito sa NCR pa lamang. Of course, meron din sa ibang mga probinsya. So, kailangan mabigyan ng platform ang ating creative entrepreneurs like yourself, creative organizations, para ma-promote ang kanilang mga activities. It starts with PCIM. We're also in touch with the Presidential Communications Office to create service to be able to extend to our creative organizations para magamit yung media assets ng gobyerno para mas ma-promote ang inyong mga event. Of course, kailangan rin ng mekanismo para ang private sector ay mahikayat sumuporta sa performing arts. Kasi let's face it, no, kung makakahanap kayo ng sponsor, baka maliit lang yung ibibigay kasi hindi naman ganong kamulat ang ating malalaking kumpanya sa ano ba ang nagagawa ng performing arts. Pero kung meron tayong incentive program sa kanila na suportahan ang mga organization tulad ninyo na magbigay ng substantial cash sponsorship or kahit ex-deal man lang kasi magagamit nila yon as tax deductible sa kanilang mga gastusin or sa pag-declare ng kanilang mga expenses sa kanilang kumpanya, at least may hikayat natin yung public-private partnership na kung tawagin para sa creative industries kasi hindi talaga kakayanin. Of course, you have the lungsod-lungsad. So kung saan po ba kayo nakabase? Anong probinsya?
Manila po kami, sir.
Manila. So now, the Lungsod-Lunsad, si Mayor Honey Lacuna, can actually apply for that city grant in behalf of an organization like yourself. Para mabigyan kayo ng subsidy or ng grant para mas ma-organize nyo better ang inyong future Manila International Dance Festivals. Pero I was just talking to Yusek Fita. I think what we need to work on sa Malikhaing Pinoy is a grant program for the private sector. Yung didiretso na yung private sector dun sa DTI mag-apply. But again, we have to remember, ang KPI ng creative industry ay trabaho, kita, investment, export, intellectual property, meaning dapat may original content tayong ginagawa at marehistro natin yan sa IPOFIL. Of course, pag-develop at pag-grow ng audience. So most likely, kung magkakaroon tayo ng grant program for the private sector sa DTI, kailangan na i-hit natin yung mga indicators na yon. Kasi dyan natin na may measure kung successful ba si creative industry or hindi. Otherwise, you have the NCCA. Unfortunately, natapos na yung deadline for the competitive grants sa National Endowment Fund for Culture and the Arts or yung NEFCA. Pero sana paghandaan nyo na next year na makapag-apply kayo and you can get a substantial grant from the NCCA na iba naman ang kanilang indicators or outcomes. Not necessarily na kailangan kumita or kailangan makapag-generate ng revenue kasi importante rin na mabigyan kayo ng platform para makapag-create ng content na not necessarily kailangan natin isubject to the cash economy at dapat creative industry mechanisms or outcomes. So iba rin yung criteria ng grant ng NCCA. Siguro we can work on adding more budget to the grants program of NCCA para mas maraming matulungan na mga creative workers na not necessarily kailangan kumita or kailangan masubject yung kanilang output to these same indicators of creative industry.
Thank you so much, Kong Tov.
Thank you, Kong Tov. Lastly, I would just like to re-promote lang po the Manila International Dance Festival. It will be joined by more than 400 performers all around the Philippines po. Maraming salamat
We
po.
look forward to that.
Yes,
and maybe it'll be better if you can personally approach our panelists later on to fully help your initiative. Thank you so much po.
And we'd love to collaborate with you for our Galila Arts Festival in Dagupan.
Yes, sir. Please.
Next year. Kasi again, if you approach different politicians for support, obviously we prioritize our constituents. So, but I would love to support you if you are to involve yourselves in our Galila Arts Festival in Dagupan. Thank you.
And that's right. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, we have our last question from IBC 13.
Magandang araw po, panels. JB Santiago po, from IBC 13. Mabilis lang po. Doon po sa 9 domains or creative sectors po natin, alin po doon yung mas binibigyan po natin ng focus?
Can you repeat your question?
Sorry. Out of those 9 domains ng creative sectors or creative industries, alin po yung mas binibigyan natin ng focus?
Oh, I don't think DTI can discriminate. All of those 9 creative industries need to be given the same passion, energy, prioritization, and resources. Because they all contribute. Admittedly though, in the Philippine Statistics Authority study, there are some domains na mas nagko-contribute dun sa 1.6 trillion. But the goal nga is for us to have a creative economy and nobody should be left behind. So to your question, sir, lahat kailangan bigyan ng focus.
Okay po. Bale, ibig sabihin po nun, same po yung budget per domain?
Kasi I think the budget right now is in those programs that were presented by DTI. So sa lungsod-lunsad, syempre the LGUs will apply for a creative grant for something na strength ng kanilang syudad. So if you're Baguio, ang strength mo is craft and folk art. If you're Cebu, your strength is design. And then if you're Iloilo, your strength is gastronomy. So, iba-iba yung strength. Kami sa Dagupan, kung mag-apply kami, siguro ang strength namin is yung aming gastronomy kasi ang icon namin sa Dagupan is bangus, di ba? So, hindi mo rin talaga masasabi. Pero I think ngayon na merong satellite account, sa creative industries na partnership ng DTI at ng Philippine Statistics Authority, at least na may measure na natin yung value at contribution ng bawat isang sektor sa ating creative economy. May 2022 data na kaka-release pa lang nitong March. Etong taon na to, magkakaroon ng data gathering. Given these interventions that are coming from whole of government, we'll see kung paano tumaas or bumaba ang contribution ng bawat isang sektor. Pero I think ang importante is, as soon as ma-organize na yung Creative Industry Council in compliance with the law, of course, yung ex-officio members natin, very active, pero kailangan ma-appoint na ni President ang ating private sector representatives to the council. As soon as maging regular na yung meetings, kailangan nilang i-operationalize na yung roadmap for the creative industries because we need a short, medium, and long-term plan. And at least in the short term, we can identify ano yung mga immediate problems na kailangan nating tutukan, ano yung immediate solutions na kailangan nating pondohan, at paano natin malaladder up lahat ng mga ito towards the 2030 goal of being the #1 economy in ASEAN. So medyo nakakalula siya, pero I think everybody is determined to help realize that creative future, especially for our Filipino youth and our malikhaing Pinoy.
Okay po. Next po is, yun, isa sa mga paraan ng PCIM is yung mga contests or competitions. Magkakaroon din po ba ng future project intended naman for students? Kasi mahilig din sila sa mga divisional, regional, national contests.
Shock, sorry, I'm hogging the mic. Yes, actually, the Young Creative Challenge is primarily geared towards students. And I think Dr. Lilian might be able to answer that question more thoroughly since sila yung nagpapatakbo ng program. But a lot of the programs of the creative industry, Malikhaing Pinoy, are actually geared towards providing opportunities for our learners. Even yung nabanggit ko kanina, yung support to non-formal learning, at saka yung scholarships para sa students, all of that is part of the equation. Now, it's just a matter of coming up with a roadmap para at the soonest possible time, meron na tayong plan. Kasi ngayon, ang dami nangyayari. So, kailangan step by step para ma-achieve natin ang ating end goal. But, Dr. Lilian.
Thank you, Kong Tof. Of course, talagang nakafocus lalo na yung YC2 natin. Gusto natin na next generation ng creatives ay mapasa talaga sa among the youth. So, alam naman natin marami tayong potential like game development. Nandyan yung mga strength na talaga sa bata mo makikita. And of course, magandang pagkakataon to para lalo natin mapagyaman ang ating mga creative industries.
Last question na lang po. Ano na lang po yung, quick lang po, message nyo po para sa mga kababayan po natin na inclined na sa creative industries at sa mga interested or gustong pumasok sa creative industries? Short message lang po. Kay Kong Tof na lang po. Okay.
Sorry, I'm hogging the mic. Ano yung message natin? So, obviously, the goal here is really for a creative future. And what do we mean by creative future? A future in which creativity is front and center to our daily lives. And a future where our creative youth will be empowered rather than discouraged to join the creative sector because of age-old mindsets or paradigms na walang pera sa sining or mahirapan ka kung pumasok ka sa sector na yan. It's so not the case as proven by other countries where there is more significant priority and support being given by their governments and as well as by their private sector to their creative workforce. So siguro yung mensahe ko sa ating mga malikhaing Pinoy ngayon is sana na-excite na kayo dahil parang yung ating creative future is already upon us. ginagawa na natin ang paraan para mas maging sustainable ang pagkakaroon ng career sa pagiging isang malikhaing Pinoy. Pero it's not to say na wala rin silang responsibility or wala rin silang counterpart dun sa mga ginagawa ng gobyerno ngayon. One, kailangan nilang manatiling vigilant, kailangan nilang manatiling engaged. 'Di ba? For example, sa usapin ng budget, lahat ng mga malikhaing Pinoy natin, dapat sumusulat sila sa kanilang mga congressman para suportahan ang budget ng malikhaing Pinoy. Dapat sumusulat din sila sa kanilang mga senator para bigyan ng karampatang pondo ang malikhaing Pinoy. Dapat nakikipag-engage sila sa kanilang local chief executive, yung mayor. Dapat pinapaintindi nila sa kanilang mayor or even sa kanilang barangay captain kung ano ba ang kahalagahan ng kultura at ng pagiging malikhain sa komunidad at sa pagbibuild ng ating nation or nation building na kung tawagin. They have to remain steadfast. And then also, and this is my personal advocacy, kaya yung isa ko pang bill na pinaglalaban ngayon is yung ating freelance protection bill. Kasi karamihan ng workforce sa creative industry ay freelance na kung tawagin. Na very, very vulnerable ang ating freelancers sa kabayaran, sa hindi sila tinatakbuhan sila ng mga kliyente nila, all of these usual heartaches that you hear from the freelance sector. So, while we're advocating for this freelance protection bill na sana maging batas this year, nakabinbin siya sa Senado. So hopefully DOLE and the Senate can work together because this is a priority of the President, which he mentioned in his first State of the Nation address. We need to protect our freelancers. Sana rin makapag-rehistro sa DTI ang ating mga creative entrepreneurs at ang ating mga creatives. Because kung kayo ay rehistrado, kayo ay mabibilang sa mga serbisyo at tulong na nanggagaling mula sa pamahalaan. Okay? So it's important that creative workers can register themselves as a solo proprietor or a solo corporation or as part of a company or a corporation with 5 incorporators. It's important that yung creatives natin ay makakuha ng mga resibo mula sa BIR kasi nagagamit nila yung resibong iyan para mas makapag-apply for a visa, para mas ma-hire sila ng mga kumpanya kasi yung kumpanya hinahanap yung resibo. Kung walang resibo yung creative worker, saan nila ilalagay yung expense nila sa'yo or pag-contract nila ng services mo. And then of course, para makapag-loan din sa mga formal lending institutions and government financial institutions. So I think it's important that as creatives, we also do our share, also with registering with our different government entities because that's the only way in which we will be better protected. And it's not like ayaw ng mga creatives natin na mag-formalize into the economy. Sometimes, ang nagiging stumbling block is yung information, yung awareness, at saka yung capacity to be able to do just that. Kasi kung kukuha ka ng accountant, medyo mahal siya. Or 5,000, 10,000 kung nagsisimula ka pa lamang. But because of all these laws that we have passed from Train 1, technically if you're a starting creative earning 21,000 pesos and below, you're exempt from paying income tax. So it's just a matter of just doing your due diligence and of course for government to also make it easier for creatives to be able to formalize into the economy. So I think all of these things eventually, the responsibilities of our creatives and then the commitment of government to support our creatives, all of these will bode towards a more creative and sustainable future for our malikhaing Pinoy.
Thank you
Thank you
very
so much
much,
po.
Kong Top. And that wraps up our panel discussion for today. And we would like to request for our panelists to please stand in front for a photo op, to be joined by our other speakers as well, and some of our government agencies.
can just sit down and then we'll ask the other agencies to join us. First part with government agencies. So sit down na lang po muna. Okay, I'll co-host with Nicole, lovely Nicole. Can I have a round of applause for Nicole, an artist herself. A beauty, mga beautiful people tong nandito sa Met Theater. So we'll have invite the rest of the government, no? And the second part will be from our private sector partners who are with us. We now enjoin all of our partners from NCCA, from the rest of the iFulfill family, and all of us in the government to just have this once in a lifetime photo opportunity during the PCIM media launch. So can we have all of our media? Can we have ED days to have the NCCT? Palakpakan naman po natin. We have NCCT, National Commission for Children's Television, and we have the iFulfill family. We have from the Department of Trade and Industry are with us. ED Rhea, please join us, please, from the Design Center of the Philippines. Yeah. We have also from the Securities and Exchange Commission, Kong Tof. Because of the one-person corporation, I invited them here from Securities and Exchange Commission. We have friends from the Economic Research and Training Department. If you could join us in front, please. Yeah, so it is a whole of government approach to creative industry, definitely. I think we have the NCCA family, of course. If you could join. Okay lang? Okay. Thank you. Can we now call in from the private sector? We have from Bughao Creative Collective, from AIM, from the International Council for Small Business, our partners po from the blockchain community, please. Yes. Yes, Blockchain Council of the Philippines is with us, and Blockchain Council Technologies, Inc. Yes, and the board and the councils. Ayan. Yes, please. Ayan.
All right, thank you so much. And now to conclude our program this afternoon, we have a special musical performance by none other than Jonoy Danao. Please enjoy this one.
Future is